What's up everybody, this is Ven here to welcome you back to another MOC Spotlight where we take apart what you build. For today's episode, we'll be taking a look at Sentile, the Forgotten Guardian, created and posted to our message boards by Darkraimaster99. Now as it goes with every one of my reviews, there are three fundamental qualities that I'll be focusing on all throughout: the overall appearance of the MOC, the build of the MOC itself, and whatever concepts and ideas that may have been put into the MOC's creation. I'll be forming a personal opinion on this MOC based on each quality, determining where the MOC excels and where it could use a bit of improvement. So with that said, let's get this started. Now what we have here is a large mechanical titan, which looks to be pretty much 99% built out of bionicle parts. I mean, there's a lot of detail and ridges and little greebles all over the place, which honestly looks really cool. I've always had an appreciation for this building style, where the builder can seamlessly integrate all these different bionicle parts into one another and make it look like there's a really cohesive design. And it actually feels like it's been a while since I've looked at a MOC like this. I guess I just really haven't been looking too much at the more bionicle-based creations, especially for one that looks as clean as this. That's the best way I can describe how this MOC looks. It's very clean in terms of shaping, color scheming, and a sort of blending of all the different parts. And what I really like about this especially is that the different colored portions each have a bit of a different texture to them. Like in the black portions of the MOC, you'll see a lot of smooth surfaces. The contour lines are very curvy, and I'm not trying to say that this MOC is curvy because that could definitely be taken in the wrong way, but it does have curves. Anyway, meanwhile you have the silver parts, which are much more greebly. They have a lot more of a mechanical aesthetic. Anything that looks like a tube trailing from one part of the MOC to the other is silver. A lot of the smaller parts in the MOC are silver and or gray, and it's also used as a primary armor color. Like the face looks like it's made out of silver armor. You got silver armor on the wrists, on the hips, and then we have what's clearly some of the other bits of armor colored in lime green, acting as a secondary color to kind of break the monotony a little bit, and that's cool, and it makes the MOC a lot more interesting to look at. But what mostly interests me about the MOC is actually the way it was built, because just the basic structure of this MOC looks so solid, but you can tell that there's a lot of different parts put into, say, the forearms, for instance. You can make out all these different elements put into the forearms, but overall it looks like this big, solid piece. And the builder manages to achieve this throughout the entire MOC. Now, the reason why this is kind of a deal to me is because lately I've seen a couple of MOCs where there's a custom torso build, and it looks really cool and complex, but then the limbs, like say the arms and the legs, are a fairly simple CCBS construction that don't have nearly as much detail as the torso, or even the head, for instance. Sometimes I'll see a really good head design where it's evident that the builder used a lot of creative little techniques to get the head shaped a certain way, but when you look at the rest of the MOC, you can tell that most of the effort went into creating the head. And I'm guilty of this too. Don't get me wrong, it's actually the reason why I haven't even truly finished my own Purple Dragon MOC, because time and time again I'm trying to rebuild the whole body to match the aesthetic of the head that I'm so proud of. And so when it comes to this MOC, you can clearly tell that there is just a consistent attention to detail all throughout in order to make this thing a really cool and heavily detailed figure. Now, conceptually, there is definitely much more to this figure. The builder did create a bit of a backstory for it, which you can find and read on the post he made on the message boards. I won't go over all the details, but essentially what he was going for was building a sort of biomechanical titan, which, as it may be obvious, makes a lot of sense, and I definitely think he captured that quite well. I mean, first of all, the thing is huge. He has comparison pictures with some other MOCs of his and a Borak, and imagining this in person looks like it would be really tall compared to the average Toa set. Maybe even comparable to some of the tallest titans that Bionicle officially put out, at least in terms of scaling. In terms of detailing and having all these cool unique features like a giant arm blade, blue tubes trailing down his spine, looking like Bane injecting himself with venom, walking around on giant robotic roller skates, having very realistic proportions. Yeah, it's definitely on a bit of a higher level than, say, Butaka. And I'm not saying that the Bionicle Titans suck or anything like that. I'm saying that the builder essentially created his own style of building Bionicle-esque Titans, going above and beyond what we would see traditionally. It's something I used to see a lot during Bionicle's heyday, and it's nice to see it making a bit of a comeback with MOCs like this. So with that said, great job to you, Darkraimaster99. I look forward to seeing what other Titan designs you could possibly come up with. Perhaps maybe even something inspired by Kaiju. I know that's a bit of a random suggestion, but I'm just letting you know right now I'm a bit of a sucker for giant monsters, so something like that following a similar aesthetic and scale would be pretty cool to see. And of course, as always, I encourage the rest of you viewers to keep on building as well. Show me whatever you could come up with by going to our message boards at board.ttvchannel.com and posting your own MOCs to the LEGO Creations category. And just by simply doing so, you are earning yourself a high possibility of being featured on the MOC Spotlight, so long as I find that your MOC is creative or interesting in any sort of way. There's no other guaranteed way of getting onto the MOC Spotlight, so I just ask that if you do this, you be patient with me as I continue to go through the long list of awesome creations that people have to share with the rest of the community. So, I hope to see you then, and if not, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.